Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Greetings from Malaysia. Today we're going to talk about beginner mistakes when flying drones and how to avoid them. But first we need to ride beam. Kind of like this one. If you're thinking about getting your first drone or just starting out, this video is for you. We'll also address your fears of flying a drone and provide you with some simple tips to ensure safe and enjoyable experience. I actually had my own fair share of crashes with my first drone. It was the DJI Spark, and I had my fingers cut after hitting the propeller. I accidentally crashed into trees, and even the worst one was I had to send it to repair. And because that period there was still not much service centers that can fix it, they had to send it to China to fix and actually replace the camera, the gimbal, and it was a disaster. So I had my own share of crashes with the drones, and that's why I'm quite familiar with how it feels having to fly your first drone, or if you're doubting yourself if you're gonna be able to fly it, because it's really, shall I say, scary. But in this video, I'll give you some tips on how to overcome those fears, so you'll be ready, and if you want to decide to buy the drone, then you can. So drones offer a very good perspective in terms of aerial photography or videography, and it's a fun hobby to have, and that's why it opens up new exploration and possibilities. So that's why before we dive into these mistakes, let's address the fears of flying drone. Start with a beginner-friendly drone. 2022, 2023, we are very lucky because DJI has really made drones that are beginner-friendly and yet secure, easy to fly, and you'll really be able to fly it right away, right after you unbox it. As of this point, DJI really has dominated this market, where they have created drones that are easy to learn and are, because of their software and system in place, it's pretty much safe to fly with it, even if you're a beginner. Find an open space. Begin in an area without obstacles like trees or buildings. Having space to practice reduces the risk of having crashes. This is the area where I actually flew my first drone. It's a park near my place. So as you can see, it's wide and open, not much trees. It lessens the probability of me crashing my drone. Start slow and practice regularly. Take your time to gradually improve your flying skills, and when you have more time to practice and you have more flight hours, you actually gain confidence in flying your drone.
Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
learn from experienced pilots. If you have a local club, flying club, or drone clubs in your area, try to reach out, try to join, and see if you can get some tips from experienced drone pilots. And I'm sure they'll be happy to give you a tip or two on how you could improve flying your drone. Now let's discuss common mistakes beginners make when flying drones. By knowing these mistakes, you'll be able to avoid them and have a safe flight and be a responsible drone pilot. Number one, follow local regulations. So every area, every country, every city that you go will have different regulations in terms of drone. So make sure you do check them, because whatever I have on my city where I am will be different from what you have in your end. So check them out. Learn to control and calibrate. I know nobody reads the user manual or the user guide of the drone, but it's always advisable to read it, know the controls, know the capabilities of your drone, and make sure to calibrate. If you travel from one country to another, especially, calibrate your drone before flying. It's always a recommended step, and this would allow you to make sure that you are properly setting up your drone and not to crash. Perform pre-flight checks, especially with the new drones right now with DJI. There's actually a pre-flight check that you can see on the app. This allows you to make sure that you're safe to fly. Like if there's a GPS signal available, there are satellites that it can connect. Is the drone calibrated? Physically, what you can do is check your propellers, check the battery, make sure they're not loose, SD card, make sure it's present. And those are basically things you want to make sure you do first before flying. Avoid bad weather. This is actually one of the things that it's not a compromise for me. If it's really a bad weather, I wouldn't really force my drone to be flown up in the air, even if it's too windy. What happens is if it's too windy on the environment, your drone can actually pick it up and will warn you on the app. So this means that it will give you a warning. All you have to do is put it down, because if it says it's too windy, although I know that the newer drones now can handle 38 kilometers per hour of wind, I just don't force it if it says windy, and I can feel it like on the drone that I can control it properly. Start with basic maneuvers. There are maneuvers on the drone that you can do that are advanced than what you are capable of. If you have not done it yet, please go ahead and practice, because these advanced maneuvers can actually crash your drone. Surprise! When you're doing basic movements, you lessen the risk of you crashing. But then when you practice, if you want to do these moves or maneuvers that are difficult, make sure you practice several times so you'll be able to properly perform those maneuvers when you need it. In conclusion, flying a drone can be an enjoyable experience if done safely. Choose a beginner-friendly drone. Start in an open space Start slow and learn from experienced pilots. Follow the local regulations, learn the controls and capabilities of your drone, and be sure to perform pre-flight checks. Avoid bad weather conditions and gradually practice advanced maneuvers for your drone. Those things that I mentioned, we're actually prioritizing safety and knowledge. And these two things, when you're familiar with, it actually boosts your confidence and you'll be able to fly the drone the way you want it without breaking any laws and breaking any properties or hurting anyone in the process. Remember to have fun and capture amazing moments with your drone. If you find this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of my tips, drone related, photography related, or any events that I go to here in Malaysia. Thank you for watching and happy flying. Bye bye.